at the foot of the mountain, and you were up with the other 3 disciples, I brought them my only son. My only son was possessed with a demon. I brought this problem to your disciples, and I told them all about it, but they could not do any good. They could not make a difference. They could not deliver my son. My son, whenever he is possessed by this demon tears him up and causes him to roll down on the ground and foam from his mouth. And every now and then, it seems as if he's all torn up, bruised and battered by this evil spirit. I told your disciples about it, but they could not. But Jesus stopped for a moment with sadness in his spirit, and he corrected his 9 disciples. How long must I be with you? How long? I've been teaching, I've been instructing you for these many years, but yet still you don't have the faith that you stand in need of. But Jesus, I feel, just didn't understand. Those disciples were still developing their faith. Those disciples just didn't have the wherewithal. They were powerless without the presence of Jesus. I know how they feel, because without Jesus, I feel powerless. I feel empty. I feel alone. I don't know how you feel, but I need Jesus. Without the presence of the Lord with me, I can't do his word. I can't even proclaim his word without the presence of my master. I can't even be so encouraged to tell somebody about his goodness. But thank God, Jesus is with me. He promised he'd be with me. Did you hear what he had to say? Lord, others may forsake you, others may leave you. You may have some sunshine bread, but when things get rough or things get hard, they may leave you. But Lord, I'll never leave you, nor forsake you. I'll be with you always. Even unto the end of time. Jesus then responded to the Father, "Whoa, bring your son to me." And Father called for his son. And while his son was making his way to Jesus, when he got close to Jesus, that evil spirit tore him on the inside, threw him down on the ground. He started again foaming at his mouth, and Jesus was there to give him attention. But this spirit at the presence of Jesus was so wicked that this man fell on the ground as if he was dead after he had this violent episode of the demon. It was as if he was dead. But Jesus reached down, picked this young man up, gave him back to his father. Everybody that was there were amazed at what Jesus was doing. Can't you imagine how the crowd felt? They were filled with jubilee whenever you see our experience of miraculous power power of Jesus, you ought to get excited. Even when you hear about the power of Jesus in somebody else's life, you ought to get excited. They were so excited. And if you're excited enough about something, you'll tell somebody else about your excitement. They were talking about their excitement in Jesus Christ, what Jesus was doing. They were talking about his mighty works. They were glorifying God. And the disciples were also talking about the mighty presence of Jesus, how Jesus was glorifying in his presence, how Jesus was giving joy to those in sorrow, how Jesus was giving hope to those in despair, how Jesus was lifting up the bowed down head. Jesus was making a difference, and they were happy, they were glad, they were jubilant in their praise. But I want to tell you something. As I take my clothes, Jesus was not looking for that kind of praise. But I'm here to tell you, you ought to praise him no matter what the circumstance is. You may have your trials, tribulations, heartaches, and despair. You may not know how you're going to come out, but praise him anyhow. But Jesus' ministry was not predicated on the praises of man. Although men ought to praise the name of God, his work was not based on praises, for he came as a suffering servant. He came for the intent purpose of laying down his life as a ransom for many. The disciples felt as if that Jesus was going to be with them for a mighty long time in his bodily form. But Jesus had already told him that I'm going to Jerusalem. I'm going to lay down my life. I'm going to die at the hands of men. But they didn't believe in light of the excitement of the multitude, in light of the praises of man. They felt that man would not turn themselves against Jesus. But Jesus said, let this sink down into your hearing. Let this go down into the depths of your soul. I'm going to be delivered into the hands of man. I'm going to die for the sins of mankind. Do you hear me? Do you hear me now? Jesus was trying to tell them, I came to take up my cross. I came to bear my cross. Anyone would come unto me and take up their cross and follow me. I'm here to take my cross. No cross, no crown. I'm here to die, and yet, I will die 3 days later. I'm going to get back up. I'm going to rise. Do you hear me? Do you hear me now? You may have your troubles. You may have